Welcome to Millionaire Before 30, where we are on a mission.
That is right. We are on a mission to give you guys the exact blueprint of how to become a millionaire before the age of 30 years old. I'm Ryan Zolin.
I am Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, Mr. Talk to People, and we have a special opening for this show. We're going to be breaking down a $1.9 million deal, and by popular demand, we're going to bring up Albert to break this down. Albert Bowie is here as always, and he is front and center. He's going to be breaking down an actual deal. We're going to be looking at all of the metrics, how they found the deal, what they put into the deal, the pictures of the deal, what's going on with it, and their strategy for getting these deals sold, and it's going to be absolutely bananas. So, Albert, come on up, buddy, and why don't you go to the whiteboard and start off the show fast.
Will do. I don't know why I wrote it so high. Alrighty. So this is the deal that we bought in McCormick Ranch, popular neighborhood here in Scottsdale. Purchased at $1.3 million. Rehab budget, we stuck around $217,000. Holding cost on this bad boy is a whopping $25,000 estimated. We're listed on the market, and we'll show you guys pictures in just a second, at $1.925 million with a potential profit of $230,000 to $250,000. Now, once we get some pictures, I'll show you guys the extensive work that went into this, why we decided to do it. And, you know, this is fun because the market did a little bit of a shakeup on us, so we'll share with you what our strategy is to get this puppy sold. Brent?
Yeah, so how did you find this deal?
This deal actually came from Keegley. So this came from relationships built with Ryan. So when we saw this one, we had a good relationship built, and we snagged this one instantly.
Awesome. And so how did they get that deal? Do you know how it was sourced?
It was direct to seller.
Okay.
And they sourced it because this was an actually canceled listing. The story was the previous owner tried selling this house, couldn't do it. They actually didn't like the people that were coming into it, so they're like, now let's take it off the market. And then Keegley snagged it up, and that's where we came in.
So it was an expired listing, guys. So what happens is if a property goes on the market, doesn't sell with the agent in a certain amount of time, or the homeowners are getting a little bit nervous, they'll cancel the listing, or it goes to the 90-day or 180-day mark, which is a typical listing cycle that a listing agent is going to put under contract, and it didn't sell. So once it falls off the market, you can call. And I did this for years and years and years. This is a tactic taught to a lot of real estate agents to call up the canceled, expired, and for sale by owner properties to see if you can go in there and interview for the job of selling that property. A wholesaler, an investor like us, went in there and had a conversation with the property owner and got it under contract, brought it to Keegley, who brought it to you. So that's like the thread that you can pull to find out how this deal was put together. Now let's take a look at what you did.
Will do. So first off, here's the front of the house, right? All we did on the exterior here was we painted, fixed it up, got up to modern standards, took out some bushes here to expose these really nice windows. But essentially, the exterior was pretty good. As you can tell, this is a really solid built house, so there wasn't much money needed for the front other than some landscaping and just some paint and some love. Now, this one is where most of the money went. We have a massive kitchen island here that we decided to open up. And to give you guys a better perspective here, this is our front dining room. I'm trying to get over here. Here we go. This is a good shot. So when I got this house, there was a wall that spanned this entire length of this house. And these are vaulted ceilings, so this was a high house, right? Yep. Took this wall down, put up a new beam, matched it, stained it to add that coziness, and then we were able to put in that massive island that you see there. This is an 11-foot island. Love it. 11 feet long, 6 feet wide, with a waterfall edge. You have your entire pantry, soft close, microwave drawer, all the fixtures that really make it a luxurious kitchen that you can look out onto your expansive home. One of the unique things is the feedback I got from the open house is the flooring choice. Why this choice? Yeah. Truth be told, Hardwood floors were getting hard to find, and they were expensive. So what's the next best thing? It's tile. I enjoy the feeling of when you walk on tile. It's very solid. It's very rigid. When you have some nice loafers on, some shoes, it clicks very nicely.
Loafers, yeah,
Yes.
lots of loafers. Now let's look at the comps here, okay? So guys, this is a peer into our MLS, and we have something called Monsoon, which is very easy to see what things are selling for. What you'll notice is the little green flags that you're going to see on here are the active or under contract, under contract with buyer contingency. These ones that are light green are the ones that are coming soon, and the ones that are blue are the closed listings. So when you're looking at comps, guys, when you're looking at, and this is for anybody wholesaling or flipping or whatever you want to do, whatever strategy that you have, if it's your first 12 months, it should be wholesaling. If it's your first 12 months, find the deals. Become a master at finding discounted property. But once you start getting into this business and start doing some other things and looking at doing flips, you're going to have to really dig into the comps. Which comp did you use?
So we use this comp right up here. During the height of the market, when we bought this thing, we knew there was spread anyway, but this one actually surprised us mid-construction. This one went on the market, instantly sold over asking price. This was over asking price by about 70, 80,000, I believe.
Yep.
It is smaller, a little bigger of a lot, but the thing that I have on top is I have a 3-car garage. I have a more spacious feel to the house in terms of my vaulted ceilings and everything. This is a very nice house.
Yep.
So I knew if it sold that high, I knew, okay, I don't have a certain style to it, so we're going to price it a little lower, especially now since the market decided to take a little shift on us. I didn't want to come in too aggressive, and it just doesn't look optically well.
Yep.
So I decided to price it under that, and this is where we're at. We're just about a week on the market now.
And you've had how many showings?
11.
11 showings.
11
Good
showings.
interest.
Good interest.
Yep.
Everyone seems to love the house. It's a very good remodel, very clean, very luxurious experience when you walk in the house. And that's one of the main things that I look for when I flip a house is what's your experience when you walk through the house that I have touched.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. I mean, listen, guys, if you're looking here, look at the potential profit. $230 to $250,000 in potential profit on these deals. This is what we call a massive deal, and it's going to be exciting. We wanted to show you this just to show you what these guys are doing and how exciting it is that they're getting into doing luxury flips, but also to document how this process goes and what they end up selling this property for. It's just been on just barely a week.
Barely a week.
Right? Barely a week. We go into a holiday weekend. Who knows how the showings are going to be, but as it progresses, we're going to see what you actually sell this thing for and the profits that you make. So this is real life. We're going to document this so that you guys can see it and be inspired by it and really understand the process behind what it takes to do a luxury flip.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Cool. Great job, Albert. And today's show, we want to center it around this. First, we wanted to, obviously show you what's going on with these guys' business. But second, we're talking about skills. And I've been talking about this a lot because I think it's so absolutely critically important in this, during market shifts, the people, the entrepreneurs, the real estate entrepreneurs, that have the skills are going to win the biggest.
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt. I think the correction here within the market is actually a good thing. I don't think properties should have been selling for $30,000-$40,000 higher than where they were listed at when they were already putting the peak of the market price tag.
Yep.
So, and I know you have a formula for everybody here.
Yeah, well, it's very simple, right? It's very simple. It's actions times time equals skill.
Yep.
Right? So it's like anything else. Like, how many reps are you putting in on a daily basis? And I the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I did a live event at Keegley's office with Jamil and Pace and Steve Trang yesterday. And I was talking to a lot of people coming up, and they say, I love the show. I watch it with you and Ryan. I watch your Wednesday show. I watch Wholesale Hotline. I'm like so excited to get started. I've been watching for a while. And I'm like, how many people have you talked to?
Right.
And they're like, well, I'm getting ready to get going.
Yep.
I've got a list and I'm getting ready. And I was like, just call one person. Just call one person. Put in one rep in the first day. It's scary. It's the uncertainty, the feeling that you're going to get rejected, the feeling that somebody's going to be mad at you. Nobody wants to go through this. Oh, I don't want to interrupt somebody's day and the whole thing. I get it. But all of those things are nothing compared to being broke. Nothing compared to somebody else bossing you around for your entire life, telling you where to go, where to be, and what to do as a professional when we have this entrepreneurial brain.
Without a doubt.
Right?
You're spot on.
So it's, how do you start getting the reps? How do you go, like as a meathead, you go into the gym for the first time and you're like, I don't know how to do this exercise, and you do reps. And then all of a sudden you get a little bit better and a little bit better, and your trainer or somebody's there, and it's like, oh, you're going to get muscle memory. Yep. It's going to be a new neural pathway in your brain that's going to happen, that's going to help you become a bigger, stronger person, more fit, more, you know what I mean?
Without
it's the same thing for business.
Yep.
It is the exact same for the thing for business, and the reps we get are with the rectangle we call a cell phone. Right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, talk to me.
Yeah. I would say it goes for anything in life, like you said. So like you use the example of going to the gym. I'll use the example of riding a bike. You got to start with your training wheels. The training wheels, I mean, you're probably not going to fall off on training wheels, but like the first time you take the training wheels off, you're going to fall. Mm-hmm. You're going to learn from failing and making mistakes. It's getting the repetition in. It's just doing things consistently. I mean, I always say that like one of two things is going to happen when you start taking action. Either one, you're going to give up and fail, or two, you're going to fail forward and you're going to get better every single day. Which option do you want to do? So
well, and that's if you're taking action.
Absolutely. It's the only way.
So I think that there's a lot of fear, and I'm just speaking for myself, learning something new or getting into something new that, okay, I'm going to start this thing, I'm going to fail, it's going to feel bad. Well, I already feel kind of good right now in my life, but I don't have everything that I want. So maybe I'll just wait until like I'm totally fed up or something really pushes me over the edge, and then I'm going to start working on myself to learn a new skill. Yep. Right? We wait for something terrible to happen as opposed to go towards the it's like the pain and pleasure thing that Tony Robbins talks about, right?
Yep.
Most people try to avoid pain than they do to seek pleasure. Yep. You know what I mean? And so it's like if you can just seek the pleasure without having to like go rock bottom first, you're gonna move faster, and you're gonna get to the place that you want to be, but you don't have to go through all the heartbreak that you would if you just like totally lose everything or at rock bottom.
Without a doubt.
You know what I mean?
For sure. And I mean, I agree with you. It is scary, but I mean, I would say it's scarier just staying comfortable. Yeah. It's scarier when you're at this point in your life where maybe you don't have everything you want, but you're just content, so you're gonna stay with the pattern you're already in. The best things happen when you break outside of your comfort zone and on the other side of fear. So when you start taking these opportunities and these risks, you start to snowball, and then you start to collect these little wins. Then you start to build your influence around you and your community and your tribe. Then you start to get like even more success. There's going to be obstacles in the way, but that's where you have the people around you that are going to help you get to the next level. Yep. And then once you get to that next level, it's like inspiring and achieving. That's where everybody always says the quote, like, the journey is everything. Like, Russ, the rapper, literally says, he's like, there is no destination. Yeah. Like, the journey is everything. Because by the time you get to whatever that destination is, an entrepreneur doesn't have a destination. Right. You get to that next level, or you get to where your goal was set, what's going to happen? You're going to have that next goal. You're going to have that next thing. So you have to get started today and take action. I love that you just tell people to, like, just make one call. Because at the end of the day, one call. And who knows? I mean, we've had people in your program, my program, that have made one call and gotten a deal. Like, yeah. If I were to tell you, and you know, you say it better. What's the example that you were to tell people hourly wage? If you were to put them on the phone, so you would have to pry them off. Yeah. If I stood behind you and just watched you make calls, and every hour I gave you 10 crispy, clean $100 bills, $1,000 an hour, just boom, give you $1,000 every hour that you were on the phone, I would have to tear you off the phone. Literally tear you off the phone. But you have the potential to be able to do that. Yep. You have the potential to be able to do that after 90 days of consistency. That's the most bananas thing ever. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I was at the point where I was making $1,200 an hour when I was on the phones. Yep. You know what I mean? I mean, that's absolutely incredible. But I think, you know, there's something sticking in my brain that I had heard on an Alex Hormozy podcast. And he said, if you want control, you lose freedom. Okay? Okay. If you want freedom, you have to give up control.
All right. So as we're building our business, we want to have that control of our schedule.
Yep.
We want to have control of that, the efforts that we put and our financial destiny. We don't want some, stock market change or some sort of, the company we work for got bought by somebody else and they're coming in with new management. Now everybody's out, or there's layoffs, right? And all this other thing that we don't have any control over. So you go out there and you're like, I'm going to control what I can control. We can't control inflation right now. We can't control the economy right now.
Right.
Can't control the federal government. We can control what we can do on a daily basis. So what does that mean? You're going to lose your freedom. You're going to lose the freedom that you have to just sit at home and just do whatever you want, right? You're going to lose the freedom of just chilling and turn your brain off after work. Right? Not that people, our audience is so proactive and they've got that motor that, it's not really something that we have to deal with this audience, but it's the truth. Like when you go home, if you've got a full-time job, you got to find the spots. Yes. You got to fill in the cracks of your schedule with being proactive in your business. Right? And you lose the freedom of being able to do whatever you want when you're off work. So it's those in-between times. It's that, when you get off at 5 o'clock, it's that 6 to 8 o'clock. What are you doing there to build your business? Yep. If you're full-time, then just go bananas, obviously. But if you're doing this part-time and you're building your business, you're going to lose that freedom to just chill. Yep. And I think for most of us, we never just chill. It's always in our thought, in our brains, and then we feel guilty if we don't take action, and then that's like a spiral and a circle, and we're like, oh well, I'm not taking action because I feel bad and I'm not in the right place. So maybe I'll go and I'll put some good education into my brain that'll make me feel better, but I'm still not taking action. Go take action. Yep. Action times time. Action multiplied by time equals the skill. And once you have the skill, that's something that's recession proof. Yep. That's the thing that you take with you. That's something that makes you a stronger person, makes you a stronger professional, makes you a stronger entrepreneur.
I love it.
Right?
Love it.
That's where it's at. So just if you're on that, if you're sitting like on the edge of your seat getting ready to take action, just call one person today. Seriously, just call one person today, and 2 the next day, and 3 the next day, and 4. They might not even answer. 90% of the people you're going to call are not going to answer.
Right.
Leave a voicemail. Do a text. Do something. You know what I mean? But just take some action today, no matter what. Find a for sale by owner on Zillow and call them up. They want you to call them.
Yep.
That's a great way to warm up.
For sure.
Call them up and say, hey, how many offers do you have? Is it still available?
Yep.
And then start going from there. Awesome.
I love it.
Yep. Good. How we doing? Do we have questions and celebrations and everything going on yet? Guys, this is a participation show. The first 20 minutes, we just kind of stand on our soapbox and go what's in our mind and try to bring some value and really break it into what's actually going on in the real estate business as an entrepreneur. And then the rest of the show is question and answer. So it's just going to be us up here standing here just jibber-jabbering unless you put in some comments and some celebrations. So let's go. Aji, Brent. Hi, Brent. I have a deal I'm skeptical to take on. Tenant's lease expires in July 2023. Currently paying $200 below market rate and property needs work. Can I wholesale this? You can wholesale anything at the right price. If the owner of this property wants retail or close to retail or whatever else, it is not a deal. I am telling you right now, cash buyers want the easiest, smoothest deals possible.
Without a doubt. Even more so right now. Even more so. And yeah, with the renter in there till 2023 and below market rate, it's going to be a tough one, but it just depends on what the purchase price is. So,
yeah, so if they're under market, you got to get it at a ridiculous price, Aji.
Yeah.
A ridiculous
price. If
I
had to guess, probably like 40%, 45%.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's the numbers that we talk about from if you just look at Zillow and it's over 250. Can we put that on there, Matt? Let's put the breakdown on the Zillow prices. You need to be here maybe even 5% less on all of these. If it's over 650,000, 60%, 249 to 100,000, 45%, and 100,000 or less, 15%.
Yep.
All right.
Spot on.
Awesome. Albert.
Sorry, no, let me read this. I apologize from the real honest investor. I apologize if I missed this detail, but at what percentage of ARV did Albert buy and did it sell at the projected ARV? I did the math real quick for you, my friend. I'm at around 68% of ARV, and we're currently listed on the market. So, of course, when it sells, we will tell you exactly where it sells at.
Let's go.
Yep.
And another one for Albert.
From Bopley, hard money used, yes. This one was bought with hard money and private money. So the holding cost you see on there, that's where it comes up. So it cost me a whopping $300 a day to hold this property, and that is just from the hard money.
You bought it at 67%.
Yep.
Yeah. 67%, guys. I mean, listen, we know our numbers. We've been doing this a long time. You know what I mean? That's where you want to be.
And, you know
and if I was a wholesaler on that, I'd want to get it at 60%.
Yeah.
And sell it at
I think-
67%.
I think they made 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Just about 50.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Airbnb play, perhaps?
So here's the thing with Airbnbs, right? One, this neighborhood doesn't allow it. This is a very
Explain
high-end.
why.
This is a very high-end neighborhood. If you're buying a $2 million house, how would you feel if your next door neighbor was an Airbnb? Not everything is meant to be an Airbnb, and to trap that much cash into something this big right now is not our strategy. I will say during the time that we picked this up, the market was a little different, so the flip was the play, and I knew. And this is a tidbit for everyone out there that wants to do a flip. I knew I could get rid of all the yeah buts in the house. I couldn't, the yeah buts are the things that you physically cannot change about the house. When a buyer walks in, they say, oh, this house is so beautiful. I love the kitchen. Yeah, but it's on the main road. Those are things I can't fix. So how many yeah buts can I fix? And I knew I could fix
That's huge.
everything about this. And that's why I took this one down as the flip it did.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it ended up being competitive. There was like 3 or 4 other people that came to them that were like, yo, we want it. And fortunately, we just had a really good relationship. Like Albert said with Keegley, and I just texted Jamil, and he's like, it's yours if you want it. I'm
Yeah.
like, cool.
Awesome.
So
There you go.
from Drew, Brent and Ryan, I closed my first deal and recorded a few weeks ago, and I have 6 more under contract. I need help selling these 2 I have in Northern Arizona. Where can I submit?
Hold on.
Awesome.
Hey, Drew Biz, for real,
Let's
email me these, Brent@talktopeople.com. Do it right now, Brent@talktopeople.com. Not only do I love buying in Northern Arizona, but we've got a lot of buyers up there as well, brother. So real curious to know if it's Prescott, if it's Flagstaff, if it's Sedona. Where is this property? If it's Pine Top, let us know. That'd be awesome. Love to work with you on this, Drew. Yeah.
Love it.
I'm going up to my cabin
Yeah, for the 4th.
tomorrow and for the 4th in Flagstaff.
Nice.
It's going to be
Taking
wonderful.
a long weekend.
A long weekend.
There you go.
Yep. Cole, there he is. Brent, not sure if you remember me yesterday asking how to get my first deal, but I'm making 30 days of 10 calls from now on. No excuses.
Good stuff.
That's right. I love it. Just start taking. I'm telling you, it's not that scary. I'm telling you, once you start doing this, you're going to understand that the fears and apprehension that you had before is a delusion. You are hallucinating. Just go take the action. If your goal is bigger than your fear, you are going to win. No doubt about it. So just focus on the positive. Focus on the things that you can accomplish and like crush that fear. Crush it all down. You're thinking too much, Cole. I guarantee you're a super smart person, maybe an analytical engineer mind. I don't know. And there's a lot of people on here that have this beautiful, brilliant, powerful brain, and it's stopping you. You're being too logical about this. You know what I mean? Just take the action. Just take the action. Doubt, disappointment, right? It's going to happen. It's going to. Distraction, it's going to happen. The 3 Ds, it's going to happen. Crush all of that and just set aside 15 minutes to make calls, 30 minutes to make calls, an hour to make calls, right?
Spot on.
When you were starting out as a fresh, crispy 18, 19-year-old, right?
Yep.
The first time you were having professional conversations
Yep.
about real estate, how did it feel? What were you going through? Do you remember the emotions,
yeah.
the thoughts,
So-
what was happening?
I laugh when you talk about it because you say make one call, do this, do that. I started on a team where I was fed to the wolves.
Yeah.
So I was an ISA, an inside sales agent, and I was licensed. So typically ISAs are not licensed. They just
Right.
work through a database. But my entire job was sitting and cold calling homeowners, and it was either looking to see if they wanted to sell or calling leads that were already in the database that asking if they wanted to buy.
Right.
Now, I was putting in 11 to 12-hour days from day one. So I showed up, I had to wear slacks, I had to wear a polo, I had my own little cubicle, and they sat me down and they were like, this is a dialer. Click this button, we're listening to every call you make, have fun. Follow this script. And I was like,
What team was it?
it was a team at Keller Williams. They're not a team anymore. They're
Sure.
2 girls that went their separate ways.
Yep.
They have their own teams now.
Yep.
But honestly, it was like tough love, but it actually helped
Yeah,
because it was like, again, putting in the reps. By week 3, I mean, I'd already talked to like 20,000 people or 20,000 dials. I talked to like, I don't know, it's probably like close to 1,000 at this point.
Yeah.
But like still 20,000 calls in like my first 3 weeks. I was basically like, yeah, here you go. Figure it out.
How fast did it go to where you felt confident? How long did it take?
My first week, I updated my iTunes playlists.
Okay.
I figured out how to put the dialer on to where it was ringing, but it wasn't actually like making, or it wasn't ringing. It was just like racking up my time, so it looked like I was actually doing the dialer. I learned how to basically not do the work. Excuse me, not do the work.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, like, oh shit.
You're
I'm
just
not
hurting
go-
yourself.
Yeah, I'm literally not doing anything.
You're just hurting yourself.
So by week 2, I came in with a different mentality, and then I got my first deal. I think it was like 2.5 months in. So I mean, I was putting in 40, 50-hour weeks my first 2 months. I mean, it is what it is. But I also was lucky enough to be on a team that they had all the resources, the scripts, the platforms, the dialers, leads, all that stuff. And then by the time I started taking action, they were actually giving me good constructive feedback on.
Did
what
they
I was
give you a
saying.
script?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you use the script?
I did, and then I started tweaking it a little bit to figure out what worked best for like
Sure.
what my style was.
Yep.
And then again, that's when the coaching came in from them. So once a week, I'd sit down with one of the team owners, and they'd be like, "You said this on this call. You should have said this. You probably could have gotten it." There was actually one that even came to me, and they're like, "You said this on this deal." I called them right after, and I got it. We're under contract now. And I was like, "Oh, all right, cool."
Yeah.
So it was a lot of learning, but overall, 12 hours a day. That's to the extreme. We're saying make one call, and watch it compound. Go from
And then
1
keep
to
going.
2 to 3 to 4 to 5. By the time you're a month in, you're making 30 plus calls a day. It becomes just like the usual for you. You're going to come in, and then it's all of a sudden, it's like part of your flow and your routine and your lifestyle. It's like all of a sudden you wake up, it's a non-negotiable. You have to make at least 30 calls.
Yep.
So
Yep. And then it becomes part of you.
Yeah.
It becomes a skill.
yep,
And then your brain isn't hijacking your action.
correct.
And that's what's really powerful. And you can't get there unless you're taking the reps, unless you're putting the reps in over time. And that's what's building the skill. And that's what's so critically important. And I'm telling you guys, people need your help out there. People need you to go and reach out to them and help them solve their problems with these properties. You might not believe it because you've made a couple calls and people are like, "Oh, you're the 15th call. I don't need to sell in this and this and this." You have to talk to 200. That means you got to call 2,000 typically, maybe 3,000 to talk to 200 to get one deal. But that one deal is $15,000.
Yep.
And when that $15,000 hits your checking account and you pull that shit up on your phone, your brain breaks. You're like, "Oh, it's all worth. Let's go. Let's
on.
keep it going."
Yep.
And then people go out and hire 15 VAs and give all that money back. But don't do that. Don't do that. Stay very, very lean right now. Cut all unnecessary costs. And I will say this, I said it yesterday, and this is really, really key. Any leads that you have right now, I want you to call them up and ask them for an appointment. And I want you to get an appointment. And I want you to have a conversation with them that says, "Hey, listen, this is the buy now price. In 30 days, it's going to be 10 to 20% lower." And that's real. And I'm not saying that we're going to take a hit like that. I'm telling you right now, during this turbulent time where cash buyers are pausing their buying for the next 90 to 6 months, 90 days to 180 days, you got to have the most unbelievable deals to sell to your cash buyers, or you're not going to get them sold. Yep. And the sellers aren't going to get it sold. All right? So either they put it on the market if they want to sell, or they work with you. Right? That's the choices that you want to give them. Hey, listen, if you want to get this price, great. I've got a great agent I can refer you to. If not, this is our buy now price. It's going to be different in 30 days. And it's the absolute truth. And you're going to get a lot of deals. People are starting to come around to understand, right? It's coming into the collective consciousness of property owners that, oh my gosh, we haven't seen interest rates like this in a very long time. right? We're in the 6s. It's going to 8, guys. It's going to be in the 8s.
Yep.
Interest rates from like 2. You know what I'm saying? So that's the buying power of the cash buyers in the marketplace are going to be affected by that. And you 100% need to understand that the value and price of property is determined by one person and one person only, and that is a ready, willing, and able buyer. It's not the market. It's not Zillow. It's not appraisers. It's not agents. It's not the seller. It is a ready, willing, and able buyer. If a buyer's not willing to come in with money to purchase this property, there is no sale.
Right.
There's no deal, right? So the buyers determine everything. Buyers determine everything, and that shift is coming. Before we could lock up anything, sell it to buyers. Buyers would take it and bid it up, and it'd be bananas, right? It's different now. I'm telling you, it's different. And that's just from our own businesses, our own experience. Albert?
No, agreed. I mean, perfect example is when this flip got listed on the market. It was like, okay, even at this high price range, I know I can still sell it very quickly. And now since it shifts, it's like, okay, I need to pull back, especially as we're thinking about the next flips. It's okay, we need to estimate for longer holding times. It has to sit. It's got to season itself in the market before we do it. And it's just the whole thing. You have to shift yourself to what's going on in the market.
Yep. Love it. You've been lifting? Look at that.
Thank
Look
you.
at that vein popping on his bicep. What is happening
Looking
here?
crispy over there.
Jeez Louise. Vascular Albert. I love it. That is great.
Those houses don't flip themselves.
Oh my god. Jeez.
Teresa, the percentage used for calculating ARV is now what? 35%? I know we're using different percentages now. Well, the percentage for calculating ARV is what it's going to sell for fixed up. So the ARV is not 35%. I think what you mean is what do you offer, the max allowable offer. Remember, ARV is different than what you're offering. Max allowable offer is much different. So the ARV is based on the comparables in the area. And the comparables have not dipped. I mean, they just haven't. We
Right.
still have a lack of inventory in the marketplace. Properties are still selling. It's just taking longer. And, you know, sellers and flippers and investors have had a wonderful last few years, especially the last 24 months, where you put something on the market and you're getting like unbelievable action and a lot of offers, right? Now everybody's like, oh my gosh, it didn't sell in the first day or week or whatever. It's going to start extending, and that's what's going to build up the inventory.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to take longer to sell these deals because in our market, a third of the buyers have paused, which is the hedge funds, and they're going to tweak what they're going to be buying, and it's going to be properties that are a lot less expensive. And so that segment of the market's going to be chewed up, but the rest of it is going to sit longer. It's just going to sit longer. So find out what is selling and determine your ARV off of that. And then if you'll put up again the percentages for Teresa here, over 250, 60%, 249 to 100, 45% and 100, or less 15%. Okay, awesome.
From Eli, I found this ugly house in my neighborhood. I was told to find the owner of the house before it goes to auction. What's next for me? Yeah,
Love
so I would personally say if it's in your neighborhood, I would go and knock on the door and see if anybody lives there. I would knock on the neighbors' doors and see if they have any idea of who owns the property or if they have any contact information. I would go on to tax records and I'd figure out who the owner is and I would skip trace it. And then from there, it's just going to all flip over everything possible. Try every possible option to see if you can get that homeowner's information and call them. Now, I see it says before it goes to auction, so it sounds like it's in pre-foreclosure. The alternative here is that you could call the mortgage company and see if they'll give you their contact information. I found that to be really 50-50. It's going to come across on how you present yourself to the mortgage lender because their situation right there is that this is their client and they're trying to figure out what happens next with the auction. So those are some out-of-the-box ideas as to how to find the information. Then from there, it's just asking if they're interested in a cash offer for their house and go down all the different options as what there could be to stop the pre-foreclosure.
Eli, truepeoplesearch.com. Put in the address.
Yep.
It's going to have the owner's name and phone numbers. Now, the phone numbers, it's 50-50 if it's
Yep.
right. Call all those numbers, all right? If you can't get a hold of them, go to batchskiptracing.com and put in the address. and get the phone number and then call all those. Easy peasy. That's what you do. All right? But yeah, go to the door first. I mean, see if it's see if somebody's there.
All day.
Brent, I started chest press with 40-pound dumbbells. Yep, and over the years it worked to 105 pounds. Small wins increased my confidence knowing well, we're gonna ring a bell for that. I mean, you got to ring a bell for getting
105
swole.
pounds of
Look at the
dumbbells.
real honest investor.
Let's go.
But this is just leave this up here for a second, Alejandro. This is a perfect example of where we go out and we do stuff physically, right? We do stuff so that we feel good. We do stuff so that we look good, and do the same thing for your bank account. For real.
Literally.
And it starts with this thing. That's all it is. You're just making calls to ugly houses. It's not rocket science, right? And we know that. And I'm not talking down here. I'm just like, I want to relieve the pressure of the event. The pressure of the event is there's an ugly house. They're going to have to sell it to somebody that has cash at some point. So find out their timeline. Call them up. Your tone is your body language on the phone, and have a really great conversation with them and ask them if they would consider an offer. If you ask them if they would consider an offer, there's only 6 responses that you're going to get. Yes, no, maybe in the future. How much will you give me? Who are you and how'd you get my number? That's it. That's the 6 responses that you will get. Some form of that every single time you ask somebody if they would consider an offer on their property. So learn how to respond to those, and you can feel a lot more confident. That's the scaffolding of the conversation. And most people don't want to make calls because you're afraid of what you're going to say. How do I open this up? How do I how do I sound confident? How do I have a confident, optimistic tone? Stand up. Be in a well-lit room. Put a smile on your face and dial the number and call them. The script is in ttpinsider.com. You can get it every day of the week, 24 hours on demand. Go get the script and use it. Seriously, use it. And you got this. But thank you. Thank you for being the real honest investor. It's the absolute truth. You start with 40-pound dumbbells. Now you're at 105-pound dumbbells. You get stronger the more you do it because it's a skill. It's a muscle that you build. So do this for your bank account. Do this for your business. Do this for your mind. Do this for your family. Do this for all those goals that you have. Do this for your why, whatever it is.
That's it.
Love it.
It doesn't happen overnight. Let's remember that. This man did not
Look at
just
this
hit-
guy, Mr. Vascular here.
He did not just
You
hit
go, boy.
40 and go to
Yeah.
105. Like, that was probably years of hard work
Of
over and over
course.
and over.
Yeah. Rudy, I have a seller who has a property with liens attached. Awesome. County kicked him out of his home that is now boarded up. I have a buyer lined up. How can I present without being able to get in the property?
Yeah, so I think you're getting ahead of yourself here with having a buyer lined up, because what you need is to talk to the seller. So if they kicked him out of the home and it's boarded up, you got to figure out where the seller is. You got to figure out what the situation with that property is.
Did he lose? How do
yeah.
you kick somebody out of their house?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. If he owns it, like unless it was a foreclosure, they can't.
Unless
just come in
unless they closed on it or took it from tax liens.
or took him to jail. But yeah, I would say like out of those options, you got to find seller. It doesn't matter if you have a buyer or not if you don't have the property under contract. So,
Rudy, make sure that it's not the state that owns the property,
right?
Or it was foreclosed on by somebody that bought the tax lien at the auction that kicked him out. But I don't see how they would kick him out of his home if he owns it. If you own a property, you have the right to be in that property.
Maybe jail. I mean, if it's boarded up, maybe it was like.
I mean, it could be jail.
Come on.
It certainly could. That would be different than getting kicked out of your home.
Yeah, right. That'd be,
I mean, I guess this kid getting kicked out. It's a different home that you live in now, but yeah, I would find out exactly who owns it, have a conversation with them for sure, and just if it's the city or the state or whatever, it's don't spin your wheels with them. But if it's an individual, go after them.
Yep.
Yeah. Guys, if you guys are getting value, please hit that like button. That just goes out to everybody. It means a whole bunch to us that you hit the like button, and that if you're getting real value out of this, subscribe. I mean, we come out with new instruction, new inspiration every single day on this channel. Make sure that you are subscribed. Turn on the notifications so that you can get that little hit every day. Boom, it pops up and you're like, oh, awesome. Hit that and then get that going. And then I do this every morning. Whatever I'm subscribed to, I hit it. Boom. I'm getting ready in the morning. It gets me pumped up, and then boom, I'm like off and running. You know what I mean? So if you're getting value, do it. Austin,
Go ahead.
how do I handle a stop work order or expired permit? Title said we can't close until this is taken care of. Seller wants nothing to do with it.
Damn. So stop work order or expired permit. They're referring to like fixing and flipping, I'm assuming. I'd be curious to kind of take this one back and peel back another layer here. So if there's a stop work order or an expired permit, why are they selling the house? What happened? Did they run out of money? What's the situation that's going on here? You need a little bit more information. Obviously, title's going to treat that kind of like almost like a lien if there's stuff that's going to interfere with them closing on the property. So I would say there's more questions to be asked here. Ask the seller what happened with the property, why there's an expired permit or stop work order, and then ask title what they need on your end, and then go and do whatever title says.
That's it. Yeah, talk to the title company and say, who do I need to talk to resolve this?
Yeah.
That's the conversation, Austin. Who do I need to talk to resolve this?
Yep.
Awesome.
From AR, is the Zestimate percentage for bigger markets like Texas and California still 60%? I would say it might even be a little bit cheaper, but it depends on where in those big states. Like,
yeah, if you're in Austin, Texas, I mean, you could go
probably 65.
You could go 80%. Yeah, you could go much higher. Just supply and demand. Any of those, Southern California, LA, San Diego, San Francisco, any of those. If you're like at Zillow and you just back out what the estimated fix-up costs on that and then realtor fees, you're going to be in a good spot. You'll be able to sell those deals because people are just chomping at the bit to get into those markets, and they're willing to pay ridiculous prices. I mean, you have to understand, like 9% of the U.S. land mass is where people live. 9%. All right. And then if you really want to pull it even tighter and look at the markets where the weather's beautiful, or it's like a really, popular economic zone in the United States, there's only certain amount of land. There's always going to be people trying to get into this area. So they demand higher prices. And it always will. Even during the downturn, those areas were bananas. So I would just say back out repair costs and back out some agent fees, and you'll be close. Yep.
All right, from Lee Sean Williams. I'm signing up for Privy, but skeptical about how to submit on-market deals out to start. What do I need to have to make this happen? You should go watch, was it 2 episodes ago? Last week's episode? 2 weeks ago. We put together a buyer package or a purchase contract package that you're going to want to include all this information with your on-market properties. So obviously, we can even go through it right now.
Yep.
So
Do it.
there's a purchase contract you're going to need. Inside the purchase contract, you're going to have all your terms. You're going to have, and this is a little bit of a side note, but you're going to have your address, your purchase price, your earnest money amount, title company, inspection period, and then any additional terms if there is any that apply. So you need that purchase contract. We like to include proof of funds. We like to include testimonials. We like to include past deals if there are any. We like to include a nice little love letter. Inside this love letter, it talks about the property. It talks about who you are as an investor and why this property is the perfect thing that you're looking for. Is there anything I'm missing out of those 5? Those are the 5.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, that's
Those 5 right
you
there.
got to put together the package.
Yeah, and those 5 should make your offer come across pretty significantly better than somebody else that just sent either a text
And a phone
email.
call.
Yeah. Obviously call them. Don't just submit all that stuff and take away your time or your transaction coordinator's time. Make sure you're doing your own due diligence and calling the agent. And remember, at the end of the day, a lot of times our offers can be insulting with these on-market deals. So what you need to do is you need to set expectations with these agents and ask them for more opportunities. So if you're providing value and coming across as a sincere investor and telling them and explaining why your price is where it's at, lead with the idea that maybe it isn't going to be the best fit for you to be the buyer. But how do you get on that list for the next time they come across an opportunity like that? So aside from that, Privy's great. Utilize a lot of the trainings and stuff we've got on social media. But just like we've been talking about this whole show, take action.
I think it's really interesting because the competition for real estate agents to get listings is very high. So they're going in there, telling the sellers, I can get you the most amount. It's going to be the best. I'm going to do the
Cheapest
best
commission.
marketing. I'm going to really push it hard. And then when they get a low offer and they have to present this to their seller, the seller gets pissed, right? Or they assume that the seller's going to get pissed. And so they get very defensive and very until it sits on the market a bit.
Correct.
Until the market hits them. Until they have the conversation that goes, listen, at the time that we put this listing on, it was great. Things are changing. We need to be more realistic about it. And then you see a lot of the sellers going, no, I want to cancel the listing with you. I want somebody that's more aggressive. I want somebody that's going to go out there and earn their commission, right? And so they list it again with somebody. And then again, nothing happens. And again, they get lowball offers. And so sometimes it takes a while. And that's why I think that you have what's the minimum amount of time that it's on the market?
We're doing 10 days.
Right.
You are actually right. I think it's more like along 30 now. If it's been sitting for a month on market, there's a motivation to sell. So I would say 30 days minimum on market is a sweet spot to go after right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Get him, LeSean. Kim, I got earnest money for a 10K assignment. Kim Young in the house.
Let's go. That's how we do it.
Congratulations. Get that deal closed. 10K. Wait till that hits your account. I'm telling you, when you get a 5-figure deposit into your account.
Dude, I remember my first over $10,000 check.
Yeah.
I was 18 years old. No,
Yeah.
19 years old. I just turned 19. And I got like a $17,000 check. Dude, it didn't even feel real.
Nope.
It's like you start reverse engineering at 19. All I could do was resort back to my last job, which was I was making pizzas.
Right.
So I'm like, $7.90 an hour times this. And I'm like, man, how many hours did I have to work to make that much money?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Awesome. John Johnson.
My man. Do you set an inspection before or after you lock the property up? Definitely after, because if you're setting up inspections and you don't have it under contract, you're probably sending out somebody to a house that you don't have. And what I also found too is I don't want to get all conspiracy and stuff like that, but I feel like when you put that bad juju out in the world and you pre-set an appointment before you have it under contract, the world's gonna be like, haha, you thought you're not gonna get that deal. So I would say get it under contract, set the expectation with the seller or with the agent that you're gonna have an inspector, contractor, designer, business partner, whoever you want it to be, whatever you want to call them, or if it's an actual inspection, that you will do that after you are under contract during your due diligence period.
I was scrolling around on, I think, Facebook, on the stories, and John Johnson had a post something about I need a lot of multiple streams of income for these dreams that I have. Focus on one, John, right now. Just one. Build a company. Earn it first. Do not get distracted. I'm telling you, brother, do not get distracted. Ugly houses, big checks. Build the machine. Build an actual business. That's what we do in the TTP coaching program. We give everything away for free here, but the implementation is what we do in the coaching, and that's really building the actual business, right? This isn't about just doing deals. This is building a machine that's going to consistently find you discounted properties forever. Start with that, then pull yourself out of that business and start something else. But until you've really got that thing running and it's consistent and it is giving you predictable and duplicatable, if that's a word, results, that's when you start pulling yourself out and start looking at different things that you can do. But earn this thing first for real. And you're going to get a lot more followers, John, and a lot more people in Discord, and a lot more people, and you're going to have more impact with a lot of people because your Discord's awesome, by winning. Winning. People want to be around winners. People want to be around people that are closing deals. They don't want people talking theory. They don't want people talking, this is what I think I should do. This is what you should go and do, and you're not doing it yourself. I'm not saying you, John. I'm just saying everybody in general. Stay focused on building this business, especially right now. People that are scattered are going to get crushed in this coming market. People that are laser focused with that magnifying glass and starting a fire as opposed to just waving it all around willy-nilly are going to win. They're going to win big time.
Yep.
And that's what happens in these markets. Focus wins the most.
That's it.
Love it. Brent, a program like TTP puts professionals on the streets. People get tired of hacks practicing with their biggest asset. Yeah, that's right. People want competent people calling. Jose, listen to me. You have skills in this coming market and stay focused. You can't lose. I mean, you're going to win. Not only that, but it's not even like you can't lose. You're going to win huge. Focus on the skills. And just real quick, and I won't go through it all, if you'll just put up the 10 skills test that you can download at TTP Insider. This is really important to look at, print out, and really look at where you're at right now. Time management, lead generation, referrals, phone skills, pre-qualifying, understanding comps, lead follow-up, your offer presentation, negotiating, and 10 there, you can't really see it, says focus. Focus and start over every day. Print it out, put it in front of you, and start working towards all those skills. And I'm telling you, the people that aren't are going to fall by the wayside because they're not going to be taking the action. And if they do take the action, see, people don't want to build skills. They want to hire VAs to make calls for them. And then they get a bunch of leads and they can't close them. And so they just spend all the money that they made or all their savings on trying to get other people to develop their skills, and it doesn't work that way. Go through your hustle season.
Dude.
Go through your 10 to 12 hours of calling all the time.
And even I failed, dude. Like, I took 10, 12 hours where I was calling, and then I did exactly what you just said. I took my money that I made, and I put it into VAs. I put it into systems. I put it into direct-to-seller marketing, and I sucked ass at it. Like, I lost all of it.
I have more people coming up to me right now in DMs and last night that said, I have all these VAs, and they're calling. They're sending in a lot of leads that just can't get any deals. And I'm like, okay, first of all, do you think it's a leads quality issue or is it a conversion issue? I think it's a conversion issue.
Yep.
Who's doing conversion? Oh, I hired an acquisition
leads
manager.
Yep.
Said, what are you doing? What are you doing? You want to delegate everything because you're scared. You're scared of rejection. You're scared of losing. You want to hire everybody as a buffer, and you're going to lose. It's a slippery slope, especially in this market. The last 2 years could hide. You could hide behind that stuff. But I'm telling you right now, if you're not putting in and building the skills yourself, you're going to get crushed. You're going to get crushed. Jeff, when and why did the percentage of TTP offer price estimator drop? Because the cash buyers want bigger deals right now. They're scared. The cash buyers are scared that for the first time in 10 years, they could lose on a flip. And some of them are losing on a flip. And they're like, oh my gosh. They forget about the millions that they've made, and they lost like 7,000 on a deal, and they're like, that's it, I'm out of here. I'm not buying another property. This is ridiculous. This is exactly like 2008. I'm going to lose my whole fortune. And this, right?
No, spot
I
on.
mean, the
Spot
metrics
on.
don't make the sense. The supply and demand doesn't make sense. And there's so many people on YouTube putting out unsubstantiated data about, there's
recession.
There's 12 million evictions that are going to happen. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, read the data. Like, yes, 12 million people were behind on rent during COVID. That's when they took the census. Like, stop it. Stop using data and, like, scaring people to get clicks so that you get money from Google to send you because you get more views. It's ridiculous. Stop falling into the negative traps that you're watching. Like, only go to the positive things that are going to give you the skills and be able to take action. You know what I mean?
You're spot on.
I'm getting heated today.
Good.
I'm getting heated today. I want to, like, fire everybody up. Like, take some action.
I want to fire everyone. I'm
He's gonna
like,
fire everybody.
all right.
No. I love my team. I'm going to fire everybody up.
From Julio, if a house is condemned and the property also has liens, what type of buyers should I target to help take these types of properties down? Fix and flippers, buy and hold investors, hedge funds if it's in their buy box. I think the question goes more to what does the seller want and what does the deal look like? Then you'll be able to figure it out. If it's skinny margins and it's a good rental, it's buy and hold. If it's something that is closer to retail, a hedge fund. If it's something that needs a lot of work and remodeling, fix and flipper.
Yep. Simone, love you, Brett. You and the crew are the reason for my real estate journey, and I know one day I'm going to shake all your hands and thank you in person. Absolutely, but let's get real, Simone. You are the reason for your real estate journey. Your brain, your goals, that motor inside you, that pilot light that's on fire, the stars in your eyes. That is what is the reason for your real estate journey. We're just going to guide you. We're just going to make sure that you don't, take the long way around to get to where you want to go. You go straight up. So thank you for participating, but take the action. Just keep taking the action, and we'll have you on the show. We'll have you just standing right here. We'll be interviewing you. We'll be ringing the bell. It'll be absolutely fantastic.
Love it.
Donovan. Saw Donovan last night. That's right. Yes. Did you make it? So I was standing there at the event last night, and Donovan is working with Keegley to sell his deals in Tucson. Donovan is a 2019 TTP family member, TTP
Beautiful.
coaching student. And we were sitting there, and he's like, yeah, I didn't even tell him yet from Keegley. And he's like, I just sold the deal. Yeah, well, actually, we have multiple offers, but we have $25,000 minimum on a deal in Tucson. Donovan's like, all right.
There you
That's
go.
awesome. So here we go.
Oh my gosh. On market deal. Let's go.
Congratulations.
Let's go.
Congratulations, Donovan.
Ralph.
Come on.
Just
Ralph,
just passed
ring
my
that
final
bell.
class to
Ring
take my
that
broker
bell.
exam.
Come on.
Broker
There you
investors.
go. There you go.
Broker investors coming soon.
What? And you have a brokerage? I mean, are you able to bring people into your world with Real?
Yes.
Yet?
Yes. Yep.
So, who was it?
Ralph.
Ralph?
Yeah.
Ralph, I would DM this man right here, Ryan Zolin.
Hook us
If you're
up.
looking for a place to hang your license, he's connected with Ryan Panetta, connected with Steve Trang, doing some amazing things with Real.
We're gonna-
and yeah.
We're gonna reel you
Yeah,
in.
sometime. Yeah. Cyrus, Minnesota agent investor here, closing on JV deal for $14K tomorrow with an Astro student. Squad up.
Let's go.
And just assigned another off-market agent deal for $11K today. Thank you, Ryan. Come on.
My man Cyrus. Let's go. Let's go. This dude's a stud. He actually runs our accountability group in the Discord.
I love
So
it.
he's one of our agent investors. I told him kind of like how we're going to start implementing a bunch of free accountability calls for people that
Yep.
are watching even these shows
Yep.
to just go in every single week. And this guy stepped up. He was like,
He's
hey,
part of your
yeah.
coaching?
Yep. He's,
Can we put if anybody wants information on that, let's make sure that we put the banner there for anybody that agentinvestors.com.
Yeah, and use code TTP. You guys can get a discount. It's $100 off.
Nice.
But yeah, it's been incredible. So Cyrus is one of the great success stories.
Awesome. Congratulations, Cyrus. Timothy, hi. Is the national list of closing escrow agents that are open to wholesaling assignment contract? Is there? Said differently, not all escrow officers are open, so how do you go about finding one if you're new? Timothy, so the best way to do it is just join a real estate investing Facebook group in your area and just post who is the best investor escrow agent, and then see who responds. People should respond in there. There's a lot of escrow agents in there, so they'll respond in there, and that's a great way. And then just call them up and see what their experience is and their feelings. You know, are they super positive about wholesale deals? Are they kind of like, we kind of dabble? Or are they like, yes, we love these deals, bring every deal to us? All right?
Yeah, and make sure if they're like skeptical and they're like, we do it here and there, don't use them.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah, they got to love wholesale deals or they'll stop doing it.
Oh, yeah, and they're also the ones that are very skeptical. They're like, well, we need this document, we need this form, we need this addendum. And you're like, hang on.
You need it?
Yeah, listen.
No. You want it.
Yeah.
B Fleet, when doing comps, would you guys check past 6 months or 90 days? I always go 90 days. 90 days is first. If I have to go 6 months, I will. But 90 days, especially right now.
That's it.
I'm telling you, B Fleet.
Yeah.
Right now, with everything that's going on, as interest rates keep ratcheting up, you're going to see the prices kind of, the prices when they put a property on the market for $350 and then it went up to $425, it got bid up. It's going to start just selling, they'll put it on the market now at 400 and sell for 400 or around there. So you want to make sure that you're using the last 90 days, preferably. The sooner the better. I mean, if you could do 30 days, that's awesome. But 90 days is what an appraiser is going to look at first in the neighborhood first. I mean, this is just appraisal rules. And so we just work off of that, and your buyers will work off of that, unless they're buying it to rent type of thing. That's a totally different thing. But if it's a flip property, for sure, 90 days.
Spot on. What are your target monthly KPIs for onboarding realtors? So I'm not sure if they mean like for
like
real
how
or
you getting you getting referrals from agents. How many are you trying to get?
Like referrals for properties?
Yeah.
So I mean, we don't have KPIs for that because that's obviously out of our control. So as for agents,
what's your goal for reach out?
Yeah, so we want to talk to 50 agents per day, and then out of those 50
a day?
Yeah, that's the goal. Now it ends up
Who's
being
doing that?
acquisition guys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How many do you have?
We've got 3.
So each one calls 12.
Yeah.
Calls or talks to?
Talks to.
So they got to call 120?
It's not even calling. Like what we found a lot of success in recently is in texting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
However, the agents want to talk the most, cater to them. If it's email, do email. If it's texting, text them. If they want to call them. However, the best we can talk to them.
What if they want to meet you for coffee?
Nope.
Listen, man, if you got a deal to the table, I'll meet you for coffee, but not until we do some business together.
Why don't we meet face to face first, and then we'll talk about exactly what you're going for. Why don't you come into my office for a buyer appointment?
Can you FaceTime?
Yeah, no. My favorite line.
People do that, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Agents are notorious for that.
Yeah.
And my favorite line to use is, "Hey, look, I'm super busy. I've got a lot of appointments that I always do. I'll make you a deal. On our first deal that we get, I'll actually hand deliver the check to you over coffee." That's what.
Troy by Playboy. You look like a Playboy. Look at you. Get him. Get him, dog. Love it. Taj, once your offer gets accepted with a realtor, what do you do next to assign the deal to the buyer? Do you send a purchase agreement? What would be the next steps?
Great question.
Yeah.
So you get it under contract, and remember, realtors are used to a few things that are different than direct to seller. They're used to closing costs being split down the middle. They're used to appraisals and a bunch of inspections being done. They're used to inspection or due diligence periods. So during your due diligence and inspection period, you can go into the property. That's when you're going to do your showings. That's when you're going to go and ask for any price reductions. You're going to accept the property in the condition it's in, or you can even cancel the deal. Now, once you go and you have a buyer lined up, during your inspection period, you say the word assign, but then you ask for purchase agreement. So those are two separate things. There's a difference between assigning and double closing. And assigning, you're going to use just an assignment contract. The way this works in the realtor's world is that they're going to assume an assignment contract is the same as like an addendum. So you're changing the name of who the buyer is, the purchase price, the hard earnest money, all other terms are the same. Now, then with a purchase agreement, that would be if you're double closing. So you have to pay the closing costs on the first leg of the transaction, and there's also closing costs on the second leg. So an assignment contract is what you'd want to use to assign the contract, send that to your end buyer, you get it all signed, and once it's fully executed, you send that document to title. Title then follows whatever the instruction is from the assignment. Then realtor, you can decide if you want to tell them or not. I always recommend to tell them during your inspection period once it's assigned, and then you're good to go from there.
Awesome. Brent and Ryan, what percentage should I be using out here in Vegas? Do you guys buy in Vegas? Yeah, Vegas is very similar to Phoenix in the percentages. Mm-hmm. So we're going 0.8 ARV. I don't have the mic. It's fine. ARV times 80%. So whatever the fixed up value, whatever it'll sell for, looking beautiful, times 80% minus repairs, minus your fee that you want to make is your max allowable offer. So figure out what it'll sell for, totally beautiful, times it by 80%. It used to be 0.84, now it's 80%, minus repair cost, minus your fee, equals your max allowable offer. Hope that visual helped you. I'm trying to do it like I would do it on
it's like a puzzle,
like a mime.
3.
I mean, it's like a miming it. You know what I mean? You know what it is.
I saw your work done. It was, yeah. From Victor, hey, do you need to have a cash buyers list in the market ahead of time or work with a local wholesaler and pay them 20 to 30% of the profit? It's a fantastic question.
It's not an or.
Yes, that's exactly where I was trying to go with that one. It's and. So what you need to do is, I always say find your buyer first, because it's going to give you a little more confidence. If you're going into a market where you don't have buyers and you're just submitting offers, you're not going to feel good when you do get something accepted, and then you go and you find a buyer that's like, yeah, you locked this up way too high. So you need to be working the market and building a buyer's list as you're doing the two together.
There you go.
Yep.
Tony Z, I know you believe batch is best for skip tracing, yes, but do you feel the same way for pulling lists, or do you believe PropStream or another list provider is more accurate? Both of them pretty much use the same source for the lists, PropStream and batch. It is a personal preference, to be honest. We pull from both, Tony. We test both. Both have come. The income that we've made from PropStream list versus batch leads list is not exactly, but it's within, $10,000, $20,000 difference over the last 3 years. So it's up to you. I wouldn't overthink pulling the list. The data is going to be very, very, very similar. I like pulling lists from PropStream. My Jeremy, my disposition manager, who works with his wife, Jackie, who's my lead manager, they pull lists from batch. So we do both, but we also have the whole county skip traced already. So, but we do pull niche lists to be able to get that, to be able to get the most likely people to sell at a discount. Yep.
One of the comments got Albert laughing over there. Hey Ryan, when you submit an offer to an agent, when do you give them the addendum that allows you to assign the contract? So we in Arizona don't need to do that. Our contracts are already assignable. Now, if you're referring to other markets where there may be a clause that doesn't allow assignments, you want to make sure that you have that clarified before you get it under contract.
There's markets where you have to
get an addendum or like a
and give it to the agent.
Not to the so the agent would get the document signed if it was like on market,
right?
And you get that document signed within your purchase contract, like your bundle of paperwork
that you have the right to assign.
That you have the right to assign,
right? Sure.
Yeah, so it's like an assignment clause or an assignment addendum, but you wouldn't be giving that to them. They would be giving that to you to sign.
Yeah, most of the time it's baked into the contract.
Correct.
It's not an addendum.
Correct. And you also don't send the assignment to the agent. You'd send the assignment after the fact to the title company or closing attorney, and then they handle all the work from there.
Yeah, and it might sound confusing, but basically in a realtor contract, there's a section in it that's blank. And typically that blank section is filled in with the right to assign the contract, the right to market the contract, the right to do all of the things that we use in a wholesaling contract. Mm-hmm. What do you put it on in page 8? Do you put anything about assigning?
Nope.
Nothing. Do you have anything about marketing the deal?
Mm-mm.
No. Got it.
Arizona's a different state. Now, what we are still waiting for a response from the new brokerage is House Bill 2747 that we have to disclose we're a wholesale buyer.
Right.
Now, we technically should be disclosing that right now as a wholesale buyer, but
Mm-hmm.
if we are actually buying the property, we don't need to disclose that we're a wholesale buyer.
Right.
So that's where it's kind of a gray area at the current moment for Arizona. But if anything were to change and we have to, the only thing we'd put in there is seller is aware that buyer is a wholesale buyer. And from there, we'd already have that conversation with expectations set with the agent prior to them getting that offer from us.
Yeah.
So.
And agents are about to get real comfy cozy with those.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something. I think that agents are going to be in for a complete 180. Mm-hmm. Like, they have no idea their world is about to flip upside down on them. Yep. And the only way that they're going to be able to sustain themselves is by having as many tools on the tool belt as possible. Which agent knows how to work with investors? Which agent knows about wholesaling and fix and flips and all that kind of fun stuff? Mm-hmm. Who knows creative finance? Who knows commercial? Who knows business broker? Who knows how to be a traditional agent?
If you're a real estate agent, you need to go to TTP Insider. I am telling you, if you do not have those skills, it's going to be a rough time. Especially if you're not like 10 years in the business and have an established referral database.
Yep.
Come join me. For real. I really want to help you. I am. Yeah. You know the timeline. Get out of here. Here we go. All right. Generic name. Love it. How is the outlook for 2024? I'm currently busy because of academics. Well, my crystal ball, I left it at home because I was looking at it. No, listen, who knows? I mean, if you look at projected, listen. I don't want you living in the future. I don't want you living in the past. I want you to live today because this is where you can actually do the work. right? The rest of it is just chemicals in our brain that we make up and we control any way we want to do it. We can do it positive, we can do it negative, we can do it neutral, we can just chill. It doesn't matter. It's gone. It's already gone there, and it hasn't even happened. So we can control what we can control now. What I know is in 2024, the outlook is if you talk to enough people, you're going to find the most unbelievable discounted properties in the marketplace and make a fortune.
Yep.
That's what I know. Without a doubt. That's the outlook. The outlook for my company, and I'll just tell you this, is we are going absolutely bananas with making sure that we get on every appointment face-to-face, belly-to-belly, knee-to-knee as possible in this transition. We're going to get in front of them, and we're going to have real conversations. And when we get beat out on deals, we're going to keep a relationship because we've met them. Because what's going to happen is people are going to put offers in on properties that they've never met the owner, okay? And then they're going to cancel those deals. And then other people are going to come at them, and they're going to go, wait, who did I meet? Who did I actually build a relationship with? Who came in with a smile on their face and really wanted to help me out? Oh, it was this Ryan guy, my acquisition manager. It was Chad, my junior acquisition manager. They seem like great guys. I'm going to go with them. So we're going to scoop up all the broken deals.
Yep.
We're going to scoop up all the broken deals because a lot of people that don't have the skills and understand what buyers are looking for right now are going to try to lock up things based on data that was from a long time ago, and it's not going to work. So we're going to go pick up these broken deals, and we're going to get the biggest, best deals ever. And the reason we're going to get them is because we're going to be human beings, and we're going to go meet them at their house, and we're going to talk to them, and we're going to be face to face with them. And I'm telling you, it's going to be more important than ever. More important. So if you're doing this virtually, fantastic. Have somebody that is awesome that's going to go in your appointments for you. For real. Have an agent, have somebody that you're partnered with go on as many of those appointments as possible. They should be on appointments all day long.
Yep.
All right.
I second that. From Logan, how do you run repair estimates on more luxury flips and bigger houses? Is there a second table that goes above 2,500 square feet plus?
Get him, Albert.
Albert, all you, bro.
Take what you think the rehab is going to be and double it. That's basically how you do luxury flips. Not all serious notes, though. You got to think that it's the same concept. Construction is all the same. You're just using nicer materials. So I'm not using the cheaper flooring. I'm using more expensive tile. So if you're looking at the second table that goes, is there a second table that goes above 2,500 square feet? Not really. The more that you start looking at luxury deals, you got to start understanding what goes into rehabbing this property to this level. For an example, at the beginning of the show, I showed you our island. A standard island is about 4 to 6 feet. My island is 11 feet. I took it 3 times the size, so there you go. It's added extra cost. But like I said, don't overthink it. Just seriously look at it's all the same thing. Look at the ugliest houses, and for the luxury flips, just remember it's going to cost a lot more than what you think it's going to cost.
Yep.
You said double it, or is there like a specific like number like that you add on extra?
I was just kidding.
No, I was like, I mean,
it is pretty much doubling it,
Yeah.
though, if you really think about it.
What was our budget initially on this one? It was 200.
My budget initially on this was about 170.
Okay, and it's
And then
250.
as you get into this house,
Yes.
more and more stuff just keep popping up. And in this price range, if you cut a corner, these buyers will notice you cut that corner.
Yep.
So for $2 million, you got to put it out there. There's no sacrifices.
Love it.
There you go.
Hey-oh! Yeah, I bet it does. Yeah, Josh just cashed my my $17,000 assignment. It really does hit different. There we go.
I almost had you there.
Yeah. I think he was wiggling it back there.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations, Josh.
Nice job.
$17,000. So excited for you, brother.
Yep.
Keep that money. All right?
I think we just answered this one.
Yep.
Sorry.
Nope.
Yeah, you're good.
You didn't undo any of them.
Sell Prop Now, LLC. How can I verify I am dealing with a real seller with title free and clear? And how can I ensure I will not get burned out the deal when I bring my end buyer, provide the details on the properties?
Great question. So this goes back to controlling what you can control. So title will verify, or a closing attorney will verify the title's free and clear. You're not going to go into the appointment and be like, seller, verify this with me, this. I've actually had it more often than not that sellers have something on their property that they don't know about, and then title gets clouded before, like, right when you open up escrow. They're like, oh, there's this lien, or there's this tax that needs to be paid, this HOA lien, whatever it is, and that gets taken care of out of the proceeds from when you purchase the property at close. Now, as for how do you ensure you will not get burned out of the deal, you're going to have it under contract. So when you send it to your buyers, you already have this property, and you have the legal ability through equitable interest to wholesale it. So I wouldn't really focus too much on how to protect yourself other than just already having it under contract. If you're going to go play the risky game of sending an address and getting a buy number from somebody before you have it under contract, make sure it's somebody that you trust.
Yep.
Make sure it's somebody that's not going to go around you. Now, obviously, it's a pretty small world in the real estate investing space, so I would send it to maybe 1 or 2 people, get their buy numbers, take the average of the two, and then go and make that your offer. So just be mindful that if you're going to ask multiple people for buy numbers and you take it to somebody else, it's not always the coolest thing to do. So find someone you could trust.
Yeah, and don't think that you're going to get burned.
Right.
That kind of sets it up to get burned, in my opinion.
Yep.
If you have the property under contract, you have the rights. So if somebody's going to try to backdoor you, you don't have to allow it, right? So make sure that you're working with people that you really trust. Make sure that you have built a unbelievable relationship and trust with the seller. And you can you can preempt them by saying, hey, listen, people might still come and try to buy your house. They have to understand that we're under contract, and you can't accept other offers. That would be a breach of this contract. So you're committed to me. I'm committed to you. If anybody's coming to try to give you an offer, just give them my information and I'll talk to them.
Yep.
Don't even worry about it.
That's it.
Yep.
From JF, should a new wholesaler with limited funds start with batch leads or prop stream? Is having both overkill? I would recommend batch leads to start. I think it's a good resource and a hub that will allow you to tap into batch dialer, batch driven, batch skip tracing a lot easier. And I've never really had as much success with prop stream as I did with batch. So.
Yeah, with batch, the nice thing is when you skip trace through it, it prevents you from skip tracing the same address over and over because they come up on different lists, right? Yep. A tired landlord might also have a lien on it, or it might be in pre-foreclosure, or it might just be in your driving for dollars list or whatever else. So if you put all your lists into batch leads and skip trace it through there, then you don't have to worry about double paying for each address.
From Marlana, sorry, I meant can you wholesale a house if it's getting rezoned? I found the house while door dashing and had a public notice sign. Yeah, you can. You just want to make sure disclosing that to your buyer that it's being rezoned. Make sure that your end buyer knows what the zoning requirements are and everything, so that way they're not buying a single family home that's being rezoned for commercial, you know?
Yeah, Marlana, if it's getting rezoned, they probably aren't going to sell that property. I would have a conversation with that owner and see what's going on. But if they're going through that whole process of getting it rezoned, they've got a plan for that property. And typically that plan is not just selling it at a discount. So for the most part, people that are rezoning have their ducks in a row. They have attorneys. They have people that are working with the city or the town or whatever else. And so it's typically they hold on to it.
Yeah, if they're rezoning, it's also they're probably trying to do something strategic so that they're worth more money or whatever.
Highest and best use.
Yep. From Isaac, how can I overcome cash buyers buying over asking price on an ugly house? Put them on your list. That's what I'd recommend. You can't beat people that are going to pay higher than you on a deal that you're going up head-to-head against. It's the same struggle I go with when I'm on the MLS and I'm going against a retail buyer. The past 2 years, I had to understand that as an investor, I needed to make sense. Now, granted, we could pay pretty high prices on the MLS, but we were still going against a traditional home buyer, somebody that was buying this as their primary use. They were starting to get a little stupid, waiving appraisal up to $150,000 over its price. So the only thing I had going for me was that I was a cash buyer. In this instance, how do you overcome cash buyers buying over you? Beat them to the deal, or like I said, add them to the list.
Yeah,
add them to, like, the list of
lock
buyers
up the deal and sell it to them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And
like that's you want them on your list. You want to be the one sourcing these deals. Now, if it's another person sourcing the deal and they want to pay more than you, they're going to beat you. Typically, if they're going to close on it themselves. If they're going to try to wholesale it, maybe they don't have the buyers for it, and maybe it falls out. So it also depends on the relationship, Isaac. You know what I mean? Somebody might offer more, but they don't go to the appointment, like I mentioned before. But you went on the appointment. You were there. You brought them cinnamon rolls or donuts or burritos or whatever it is, right? And they like you better. You know what I mean?
That's
Sometimes you can out relationship other people and beat them on price.
That happens all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. You have to understand, and I had this conversation last night with a guy, and he's like, well, I just don't understand why people would sell at a discount, why they wouldn't just put it on the market. And I said, speed and convenience. And he goes, well, yeah, sure, but it's like their whole, their family wealth. And I go, listen, you don't know that. That's all hallucinations. And they was an agent for a long time, and I get it. And so as an agent for a long time, you're like, well, people always want to get the full amount of what their property's worth. Well, sometimes people want speed and convenience. 6 to 10% of the real estate market wants speed and convenience because this property is causing them distress. You turn in your car to the dealership when you get a new car, and you're not getting Kelley Blue Book price for that car because you want speed and convenience. You don't want to clean up your car. You don't want to put it out on the market. You don't want to take other offers. You don't want to put in a new sound system and rims and paint job and all this other stuff, right? You just want to turn your car in and get the new car and be done with it. Speed and convenience. People do the same thing with property. They do. They know that they can get more. We show them on appointments. You can get more if you put it on the market, if you go and do this. No, I don't want people coming through my house and putting a sign up and getting it, all over. I just don't want to deal with it. All right, this is the price I can offer you.
Yep.
You sure? Yeah. Happens every day.
From Edgar, amigos, how to close an agent CMA number, and how come an agent CMA number is to the comp value that we learned? How close an agent? I don't know if that makes sense. How close an agent CMA number is to the comp value that we learned from you folks. Could you use an agent CMA as
yes.
an ARV? Yeah,
absolutely.
You can. Yeah.
So just to decipher this for people that aren't, don't have a real estate agent background, the current market analysis is basically what we do to come up with the ARV. But it's basically an agent goes and they pull all the data and they put it in this nice presentation that shows this is why I think this is what I think we can sell your property for based on what your neighbors are selling your property for. So it's the same exact thing, Edgar. Just make sure that it's somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And comparables. I mean, do your own research too. Don't rely on an agent to bring you your ARV.
Yep.
Generic name. Should I rent an office to wholesale for a quiet environment?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No. I mean, you can eventually, but you could do a lot of damage in your living room. I mean, I've had podcast after podcast after podcast with amazing people around the country that do it from their parents' laundry rooms, from the upstairs bedroom, from the basement, from army barracks. You know what I mean? Like, yes, get somewhere that's quiet, but I mean, you could do it in a bathroom if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, it doesn't, you don't have to get too crazy about it. And in the beginning, you should keep your budget as low as possible.
Yep. I got my first office 3 years in, and it was a small little closet over at Regis. Yeah. And I only did it for the team.
Yeah.
But how would I go about hanging my license as real brokerage with Ryan Zolin? Could I still do it even if real brokerage isn't in my market? I'm in Alabama. Yeah. So they should be in the next. If they're not in that market, I'm pretty sure they are. They have 3 or 4 states that they're waiting on, but they should be nationwide by the end of the year. You would obviously need to be licensed in the state that the brokerage is in, and then you could hang your license under real there. So feel free to send me a DM on social media. I'd be more than happy to help you out. We've got over 10 people in the downline. We've been there for just a few weeks now. There's a lot of cool things coming up with Ryan Pineda, Steve Trang, myself, and maybe. So, there's going to be a lot of cool things.
Grant, got a deal locked up that we are 2 texts away from a signing. The deal was brought to me from Ryan's AI Discord. Get active in Discord. Wow. We're going to have to add Discord to the old lead generation sources. So I love it. Ring that
Grant
bell
is out
for
in
Grant.
Vegas, and he's one of the students as well.
Look at that guy.
Let's go. That's what's up, bro.
That is awesome. Congratulations. Get that sold.
Yes, sir.
Today.
Let's go.
For ultimate price. All right. Jay's Way. How would I go about finding boots on the ground in a virtual market? How would I pay them? Is it completely necessary for somebody just starting out? I feel overwhelmed and finding somebody trustworthy. Yeah, you got to find somebody remember, you have to approach this relationship like they're going to win way more than you are. All right? And typically it's going to be a real estate agent that has the time and is professional, and they, take showers and they get dressed in the morning and they could represent you in a professional light, right? Mm-hmm. And so you want to have a conversation with them like, listen, I am running into a situation. I talk to a lot of people every single day, and a lot of them want retail for their property. I don't want to do it. I'm not licensed, or I don't want to do it if I am licensed, whatever it is. Can I refer you these deals? Now, if you're not licensed, you can't legally get a referral fee, right? Now, people do marketing fees and some other things, whatever. You work it out yourself, but I'm just telling you, referral fees, if you're not licensed, you can't do it. You can't get paid that way. So you can build a relationship that says, hey, listen, I'm going to send you all these leads for listings and for opportunities, but I need you to help me go on appointments and represent me in that market and go on these appointments to get these discounted wholesale deals. And if you have buyers, you can sell them to them, whatever else, but I need you to go there and represent me. And I'll give you as many leads as I possibly can to help, grow your business. That sounds great to an agent. That's like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then you start sending them stuff, and all of a sudden they're like, holy cow, this is real. Because a lot of people promise things to a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be skeptical until you start sending them opportunities, right? So start with the service of sending them the opportunities, the retail leads, the people that want they want retail value for their properties. Even if they're ugly, it doesn't matter. Let them go and negotiate it and figure it out. And then you can do the ask. So give. What is it? Jab, right hook, right? You know what I mean? Like, hit them with the right hook of being on your team after you provide them value, unless you want to pay them each time they go out. Listen, every time you go and show this, I'll pay you $50 or $100 or $200. Most people don't like that model because people don't have a huge budget, right? And so if you want somebody that's going to be on your team and work by commission and at some point maybe hourly, if it gets to that point, that's how you build it up.
That's it.
Yep.
I think it's really important that you said an agent too. They're the most trustworthy people in my eyes, as opposed to just going and finding a random wholesaler on the internet. Yeah,
unless you have like a family member or somebody that you really trust out there that's going to represent you and you can partner up, or a really good friend or something like that. But typically friends have their own lives and they're already doing this stuff. It's like a family member that's like, whatever, they're retired or they're staying at home and their kids are grown up and they need something to do, but they still have to pick up the kids and they still have, you know what I mean? They have some windows of opportunity there, and they're just looking for something to do, and you can help them out and pay for some things.
Sure. From Grant, what's your strategy when dealing with hedge funds versus local buyers? Email blast all list, including both, call VIP buyers first, or call hedge funds first. So I think that what you need to make sure you understand, there's probably a pretty big difference in the price between a hedge fund buyer and a fix and flip VIP buyer.
Oh, yeah.
A VIP buyer is going to be wanting a discounted, distressed property they could go in, fix up, turn around, and flip. A hedge fund buyer is trying to buy properties for buy and hold. So they're able to pay a little bit closer to retail. What I would recommend is making sure you have the buy box of your hedge fund and making sure that the houses you're sending to them fit inside that criteria. You're not just going and locking up distressed homes and sending it over to the hedge funds, because that's not their business model. The VIP buyers, that should be so you should have 3 different lists in my opinion. It should be your VIP buyers, it should be your all list, and then you should have your hedge fund list. And the hedge fund list, in my opinion, I don't think that's a list. I think it's probably like 2 or 3 people that are connections that have those relationships with the hedge funds you send the deals to. They bring the hedge funds into the equation. The VIP list, those should be the people that you should be going to on every single property. The minute you have it, maybe it's a text, maybe it's an email 10 minutes before it goes out on the blast, whatever it is, those people get all the properties sent to them. And then from there, the rest of the list, they get it sent out afterwards. So hopefully that helped.
Yeah, just make sure that you have the hedge funds that are buying right now.
Right. And look at this.
All right.
Perfect.
Are you kidding me? Got my first big check of $124,000. $100,000 from one deal in California.
Damn.
Vacant land, squad up, TTP. Samuel, get it. That is bananas. Wow. Sick, massive deals.
That's a
Massive deals.
Dude, I mean,
massive deals.
That's 3 years of pay for a lot of people.
Squad up, TTP, vacant land, California. That is incredible.
Sheesh.
You know, the top 10% of real estate agents make $112,000 a year. He just did it in one deal. And real estate agents are sitting there like,
how?
What?
You can't do that.
Yeah, that's like, what's your commission percentage?
You can't
10?
do that. That's awesome. Well, let's leave on that. That is fantastic.
What a high note.
Listen, yeah. Guys, thank you for participating. Let's put up real quick the blueprint, the Millionaire Before 30 blueprint. Boom. Number 1, do a deal. Do a deal. Start with that. Just do a deal. All right? That's the first thing that you have to do on your path to being a millionaire. Right? Do a deal. Do something. Bring income in your own business.
Yep. And as Brent says, take it from faith to fact. You've done a deal. Congratulations. Move on to doing this full time. What's that saying? It's like use your 9 to 5 to fund the 5 to 9 to then take the 5 to 9 to fund the 24/7. That's when you're doing this full time. That's when you're able to take that money and you're able to watch it make more money. You have more opportunities presented to you. You have more money, more opportunities, and then you get back to ground zero, which is the third step.
Yep. Kill the debt. Stop being somebody else's ROI. Stop being somebody else's credit on their balance sheet. Stop being somebody else's asset on their balance sheet. Okay? Kill the debt. Get rid of consumer debt. Car loans, student loans, credit cards. Get rid of them. It's eating you alive and it's affecting your life. And I'm telling you, if you're a young entrepreneur, the number one, and this is proven, this is stats, this is real life. The number one thing that crushes most young people is that car. Trying to flex and get that nice car or truck or SUV or whatever else that's eating up $1,000, $1,500 of your income every single month that you could be investing into your business. And just listen, ride on, keep that ugly car. Make sure it's reliable. Keep that ugly car as long as you can and build the business. Because I'm telling you, you stay consistent for 3 years, you could buy any car you want. 5 years, bananas. 7 years, you're in a helicopter. You know what I'm saying?
Some people won't take me seriously, Brent.
Love it. And then next, invest into assets. Take that hard-earned cash and make that money work for you. So we're investing into assets, which is going to create the beautiful thing that we're all looking for called cash flow. This is going to create consistent income coming in every single month for you, which leads to the most amazing step of all, which is the fifth and final step.
Financial freedom. This is control over the time you have left on this planet. Financial freedom. I'm telling you, when you don't have to worry about money, when you win the money game, you get to focus on things that you really, 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 really love and appreciate and want to do, and that's what's exciting. I mean, that's an absolutely incredible life, and 5% of the people get to do it, for real. I mean, if you just look at the stats. So be in that 5%. 1,700 millionaires are made every single day in this country. So when is it going to be your day? When is it going to be your day? We love you guys. We'll see you next week.